Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into, well, kind of a celebration.
Oh, yeah?
50 years
Like what?
of the Porsche 911 Carrera RS 2.7.
That's right.
We've got a Porsche press release here, fresh from Monterey Car Week.
Nice.
And it's not just some, blowing out candles and eating cake thing.
No.
They unveiled the 2023 911 GT3 RS, and it's a tribute to the legendary 72 Carrera RS.
Yeah, this is really interesting because what they're doing is they're using this new car to kind of bridge the gap between past and future with Porsche. They're not just slapping a retro paint job on it and calling it a day.
Right.
This new GT3 RS is packed with cutting-edge technology.
Oh, yeah.
But it's clear that they drew inspiration from that iconic design and that innovative spirit of the original Carrera RS 2.7.
Yeah, okay, so this press release talks about the new GT3 RS on display having this white and python green color scheme.
Right.
That's a direct throwback to the 72 Carrera RS.
Absolutely, and it goes beyond that.
Okay.
They've got the green wheels with the white pinstripes.
Oh.
Painted side air intakes, even custom taillights.
Really?
They really paid attention to the details. But what makes this color scheme so special is that it wasn't just about looks.
Okay.
It was actually a turning point in Porsche design.
So fill us in. What was it about that original white and green that made it so iconic?
Well, for starters, it was a pretty bold departure from, the more subdued colors that were common on sports cars at the time.
Right.
But it was also about performance. Porsche was really pushing the boundaries of aerodynamics with the Carrera RS 2.7, and they wanted a color scheme that would really highlight those innovations.
Ah, so it was more than just aesthetics. It was about showcasing the car's capabilities.
Exactly, and that philosophy is carried through to the new GT3 RS.
Okay.
It's not just a pretty face. This thing is a track-focused weapon with some serious aerodynamic tricks up its sleeve.
I like it.
Speaking of which, did you see where they're developing a special Tribute to Carrera RS package?
Yes.
Exclusively for U.S. customers?
Yeah, that caught my eye. What's the deal with that? Is the U.S. market really that important to Porsche?
The U.S. has always been a key market for Porsche, particularly when it comes to the 911. I think this exclusive package is just another way of showing how much they value their American fans.
Okay.
And how they understand that emotional connection that people have with these cars.
Yeah.
And you know what? This isn't just a marketing ploy.
Really?
There's a genuine passion behind this.
How so?
Well, the press release mentions that the package is actually being developed as like a collaboration.
Oh, wow.
Between the teams in Germany and the U.S.
Interesting.
That tells me they're really going the extra mile to make sure this package truly resonates with American enthusiasts.
Yeah.
They're tapping into that nostalgia, the history, and the unique preferences of the U.S. market.
Right.
Smart move?
It is smart. Yeah, speaking of understanding their customers, they included this quote from Karl-Heinz Wolfs, the director of exclusive manufacturer options, and he says, Porsche exclusive manufacture allows customers to personalize their car to a point where the vehicle is as much a reflection of them as it is of Porsche.
Right.
Now, that's something I can get behind.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love adding a little bit of themselves to their ride?
It seems like a natural extension of the whole Carrera RS ethos.
Yeah, how so?
Well, think about it. The 72 Carrera RS was all about pushing the limits of performance and individuality.
Okay.
It was a homologation special,
Huh.
built to meet racing regulations, but it also offered buyers a range of options to tailor the car to their needs and their tastes.
Oh, cool.
And that spirit of personalization has really been a part of Porsche's DNA ever since.
So they've been doing this whole personalization thing for a while now.
Oh, yeah, it goes way back. Even with their very first production model, the 356.
Okay.
Porsche was willing to go the extra mile for their customers.
Yeah.
There's a story about a customer who requested a rear window wiper for their 356.
A rear window wiper. Seems like a pretty basic request.
You would think so, but back then it wasn't a common feature. And what did Porsche do?
I'm listening.
They listened to their customer, and they made it happen. It's a small detail, but it speaks volumes about their commitment to customer satisfaction and their willingness to embrace those individual preferences.
That's pretty cool. So this whole Tribute to Carrera RS package is really tapping into a long-standing tradition at Porsche.
Absolutely. It's not just about offering some fancy options. It's about continuing this legacy of personalization that goes back decades.
I like that. Okay, but let's get back to this new GT3 RS for a second.
Sure.
The press release also includes a quote from Andreas Pruninger, the director of GT Model Lines. He says, as a car enthusiast growing up, my walls were plastered with models that I was particularly fond of. One of the most influential was the 911 Carrera RS 2.7. That's where the styling inspiration of the 996 GT3 RS came from, which was one of my first projects at Porsche.
Hmm.
I mean, who hasn't had a car poster on their wall that they dreamed of owning one day?
I think that quote just really speaks to the power of automotive passion
Yeah,
and how certain cars can just leave like an indelible mark on us.
for sure.
It's clear that Preeneger's childhood admiration for the Carrera RS 2.7 had a profound impact on his career
Right.
and continues to influence his work today.
So he's basically living out his childhood dream by designing these incredible Porsches.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is that he's not just recreating the past.
Yeah.
He's taking those design cues and that spirit of innovation
Right.
and translating them into something new and exciting.
Absolutely. All right, so we've got this incredible legacy, this connection to the U.S. market, and a whole lot of passion driving this project. But what about the car itself? What makes the 2023 GT3 RS so special?
Well, where do we even begin?
I'm ready.
This thing is a beast. We're talking 518 horsepower
Wow.
from a naturally aspirated 4.0-liter flat-six engine.
Hold on. Naturally aspirated. I think some of our listeners might need a quick explanation on that one.
You got it. Basically, it means there's no turbocharger or a supercharger forcing air into the engine. It's all about the engine breathing on its own,
Okay.
which gives you a more linear power delivery and a truly exhilarating sound.
Okay, so pure, unadulterated engine power. Got it.
And it's not just about raw power. This engine revs all the way up to 9,000 RPM.
9,000. I bet that engine sings a pretty amazing song. What's it like to hear that in person?
It's something else.
I bet.
A symphony of mechanical fury. A high-pitched wail that sends shivers down your spine. It's pure automotive bliss.
Wow.
But you know all that power is useless if you can't control it, right?
That's what I was thinking. 518 horsepower is a lot. How does Porsche ensure that all that power is manageable for the driver?
Well, that's where the motorsport-derived aerodynamics come into play.
Okay.
This car is designed to stick to the road like glue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've actually incorporated active aerodynamics for the first time in a 911 GT3 RS.
What?
You're talking about adjustable wings and spoilers
Really?
that adapt to the driving conditions in real time.
Oh, wow.
So this allows for just incredible levels of downforce for cornering grip. And it even acts as an air brake
Okay.
for rapid deceleration.
Oh, wow.
And then when you need it, it can reduce drag,
Right.
making the car even more efficient at high speeds.
Okay, that sounds incredibly complex. Can you break that down for us a bit more? How does that active aero actually work?
So imagine like the car has these little flaps and wings
Okay.
that can actually move and change their angle
Right.
based on what you're doing with the car.
Okay.
So like if you're going into a corner at high speed, those flaps adjust to create more downforce, essentially pushing the car down onto the track so it can grip better
Yeah.
and take the corner faster. Then, when you're on a straight and you need to reduce drag to reach top speed,
Right.
the system adjusts those flaps to streamline the airflow. It's like the car is constantly adapting
Yeah.
to optimize its performance. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's pretty mind-blowing. So they've taken this concept from motorsport and brought it to a road car.
Exactly. And
Okay.
it's not just a gimmick. It's really a testament to Porsche's commitment to pushing the boundaries of automotive technology. They're constantly looking for ways to improve performance.
Yeah.
And active aerodynamics is a game changer.
It really sounds like it. Now let's circle back to that limited edition Tribute to Carrera RS package for U.S. customers.
Right.
What do we actually know about it so far?
Well, Porsche being pretty tight-lipped about the specifics,
Yep.
which, just adds to the mystery and the allure.
Right.
But from what we can gather, it's going to be a really curated selection of exclusive options and accessories
Yeah.
that pay homage to the 72 Carrera RS.
Knowing Porsche, they're not going to disappoint. I'm picturing, unique paint colors, interior trim details, maybe even some special badging.
I think you're on the right track. And remember, this is a joint effort between Porsche's teams in Germany and the U.S. So you can bet they're going to go deep on what American enthusiasts are really looking for.
It's going to be more than just some stickers and fancy formats, right?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Porsche understand that these special editions are about more than just adding a few cosmetic touches.
Yeah.
They're about capturing a feeling, a sense of history, and exclusivity. They want owners of these cars to really feel like they're a part of something special.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if they included some performance upgrades inspired by the original Carrera RS 2.7.
All right, yeah.
Maybe like a sport-tuned suspension or a lightweight exhaust system. That would really complete the package.
Now you're talking. I'm sure Porsche has some surprises up their sleeve. We just have to wait and see what they unveil.
It's like waiting for Christmas morning. Speaking of which, remember that quote from Karl-Heinz Wolff about personalization? It got me thinking, if we could design our own tribute to Carrera RS package,
Okay.
what would we include?
Ah, that's a fun thought experiment.
It is.
Let's brainstorm. What's at the top of your list?
Well, for me, it'd have to start with that iconic Python green and white color scheme.
Right.
It just screams classic Porsche.
I agree. That's a must-have. It's just such a striking combination.
Yeah.
And it just perfectly captures the spirit of the original car.
And I think to add a modern twist, I'd incorporate some carbon fiber accents.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe a carbon fiber roof.
Yeah.
Mirror caps, and that stunning rear wing.
Right.
It'd be like a subtle nod to the lightweighting philosophy of the original RS.
I like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
A blend of classic and contemporary design elements.
For sure.
What about the interior?
Oh, the interior.
What kind of touches would you add in there to make it truly special?
The interior is where you can really let your personality shine. I'm thinking bespoke leather seats with Python green stitching and maybe even some vintage-inspired houndstooth insert.
Yeah.
It'd be a subtle throwback to the 70s, but with a modern, luxurious feel.
That's a fantastic idea.
Hmm.
You're really capturing the essence of the Carrera RS
Yeah.
performance heritage and individuality.
Right.
And we can't forget about the details.
What do you have in mind?
Perhaps a special edition plaque on the dashboard engraved with the car's production number?
Yes. And maybe a custom key fob
Oh, yeah.
with the Carrera RS logo. It's all about those little touches that make it truly unique.
Exactly. And with Porsche exclusive manufacturer, the possibilities are pretty much endless.
Right.
It's not just about buying a car. It's about creating an experience.
Right.
A piece of automotive art that reflects your own personal style.
That's what makes this whole story so fascinating. It's not just about sheet metal and horsepower.
It's not.
It's about the emotional connection between a car and its owner.
It's about the passion that fuels these designs,
Right.
the history that inspires them,
Yeah.
and the individual expression that makes each car truly special.
You know, that quote from Andreas Pruninger really stuck with me? The idea that a car from your childhood
Right.
can spark such a lifelong fascination and even shape your career path.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how many other car designers out there were inspired by the cars they grew up with.
I bet you're right. I'm sure there are countless stories of people whose love for cars was ignited by, a poster on their bedroom wall,
Right.
a ride in a family member's classic car, or even just, a glimpse of something special on the street.
Yeah,
These early experiences can have a profound impact on us,
for sure.
shaping our passions and even our careers.
It's a reminder that sometimes the things that seem insignificant can actually have a huge influence on our lives.
Right.
And it speaks to the power of design,
Yeah,
the way a car can capture our imagination and
Yeah.
stay with us for years to come.
absolutely.
Right.
The best designs are the ones that transcend their functional purpose
Yeah.
and become something that resonates with us on an emotional level.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from the history of the Carrera RS to the impressive specs of the new GT3 RS, and even dove into the realm of personalization.
We did.
But there's one thing we haven't talked about yet, and
Oh.
that's the price tag.
Ah, yes, the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Porsche hasn't released official pricing for the 2023 GT3 RS or the Tribute to Carrera RS package just yet.
But we can safely assume it won't be cheap. These are high-performance, limited
Yeah.
edition machines, after all.
You're not wrong there. But I think for the people who are buying these cars,
Yeah.
it's about more than just the sticker price.
Right.
It's an investment in a legacy,
Uh-huh.
in a passion, and in a piece of automotive history.
It's about owning a piece of your dreams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings us to an interesting question.
I like it.
What are some other examples of cars that have transcended their status as, mere vehicles
Right.
and become cultural icons?
Okay.
Cars that have captured the hearts and minds of generations.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Cars that inspire movies, songs, and even art. Right. We're talking about cars that have become synonymous with a certain era or a certain lifestyle. Cars that evoke a sense of nostalgia,
Right.
excitement, and even a bit of envy.
For sure.
Cars that even decades later still make us stop and stare.
Precisely.
Yeah.
What comes to mind for you?
Well, the first car that pops into my head is the Ford Mustang. It's the quintessential American muscle car, and it's been an icon for over half a century.
The Mustang's a great example. It represents,
Yeah.
freedom, power, and that classic American cool.
Right.
And it's had such a lasting impact on car culture.
And how about the Chevrolet Corvette, another American legend that's been turning heads since the 1950s?
The Corvette is a fascinating one. It started out as like a stylish sports car
Yeah.
and evolved into a true performance machine.
Hmm.
And it's always held a special place in the hearts of American car enthusiasts.
I think for a lot of people, these cars represent a certain era, a time when things were simpler and cars were all about style and raw power.
There's definitely a sense of nostalgia associated with these cars.
Yeah.
You know, they evoke memories of cruising down the open road,
Yeah.
listening to classic rock on the radio.
And they're not just American icons. We can't forget about cars like the Jaguar E-Type with its sleek, timeless design.
The E-Type, one of the most beautiful cars ever made.
Really?
Even Enzo Ferrari himself called it the most beautiful car in the world.
That's high praise coming from the founder of Ferrari.
He is.
And speaking of Ferrari, we have to mention the 250 GTO, the holy grail of classic sports cars.
The 250 GTO is a legend. It's not just a car, it's a work of art. And its rarity and racing pedigree have made it one of the most valuable cars in the world.
It's amazing to think about how these cars have become more than just machines. They're symbols of a bygone era, cultural touchstones that continue to fascinate us.
It really is. It's a testament to the power of design and the way a car can capture our imagination and stay with us for years to come.
Okay, one last question for you. If you could have any of these iconic cars, which one would you choose?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
They're all so special in their own way. But if I had to pick just one, I think I'd go with the Jaguar E-Type.
Oh, nice.
It's just such a stunning car, and it represents a golden age of automotive design.
a fine choice.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Porsche and the legacy of the Carrera RS, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners walk away with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that passion drives innovation. Whether it's Andreas Priniger channeling his childhood admiration for the Carrera RS into the design of the new GT3 RS, or the countless enthusiasts who keep these classic cars alive and, well, it's clear that a love for automobiles can inspire great things.
Well said, and I think it's safe to say that the spirit of the 1972 Carrera RS 2.7 is alive and well. In the 2023 GT3 RS, Porsche has managed to blend heritage and innovation into a truly special car.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe someday we'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the 2023 GT3 RS.
I have a feeling it'll be just as iconic. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive. But before we go, we want to leave you with a thought-provoking question.
Always love a good brain teaser. What do you have for us?
If you could design your own tribute to Carrera RS package, what features from the 1972 model would you include? And what modern innovations would you add to create your perfect Porsche?
That's a fantastic question. It really gets you thinking about the possibilities and the way that past and present can come together in something truly special.
We encourage you to share your thoughts with us on social media. We'd love to see what kind of dream Porsches you come up with.
Until next time, keep those engines revving.